Hi, everyone. It's Karen and Lennon. Oops, pointing the wrong way. No, I can't. Why doesn't it work?
We're here. It's working. We're here.
Oh my God, I could not point. I thought I kept on pointing the wrong way. So I'm really, really, really excited that I wanted to bring this to my channel because this is Lennon Bone. He is an artist strategist, and I've been working with him for the past 8 months. And I'm just so excited because I really wanted to bring this to all of you who want to turn your creativity into a business and you don't know where to go or how to do it. And this is I just wanted to just share my secret with you. I mean, not with me, secret. I want to share what I've been doing behind the scenes and what a few of us have been doing behind the scenes to help people, to help myself and to help others, basically with creativity and how to bring it into our business. And I'm just going to leave it to Lennon to do his thing and talk about his business and about how he helps creatives. And I'm just going to sit here and listen.
Yeah. So first of all, cool to see. Hi, Cindy, Ingrid, Susan's here. Karen's here. That's you, right? Is that you? Okay. Yes. I'm here. Yeah. Awesome. Well, it's good to be here, Karen. Thanks so much for having me on. I really do appreciate it a ton. My name is Lennon, and I am a creative strategist, I guess is the way I've put it, because you have to put a title on something in order for somebody to like feel like they have, a grip on what you do. I was a professional musician for 10 years. I toured all around the world, got to play a bunch of major festivals, be on some Billboard Top 200 records, work with a Grammy nominee. I ended up making some music for a commercial, and this will all tie back into, because I know we're in a very different space from music, but so we'll tie this together. But I ended up doing music for a commercial that made about $43,000 or $45,000, something like that, which for me was like, this is not even real. Like, this does not happen to people like me, and I was just one of those guys that never was the best, but I plugged away at it. I knew what my vision was. I knew what I was trying to do with my career. And it ended up being enough money that I could say, okay, I've got time. What do I want to do here? And so I moved on to doing more production stuff, meaning I would work with like recording artists or songwriters and things and bring them into a recording studio. We would make their albums, and then they'd say, well, how do I make this money back? I've just spent like a few $1,000s with you. How do I make this money back? And so that became like some of my favorite conversations, was talking about how to start making money from your creativity. And so I built a YouTube channel around that. And since then, I now work as actually a YouTube strategist with a company called Video Creators. And then I have my own business here called Stop the Starving Artist, where I've worked with you, I've worked with Ingrid, I've worked with actually quite a number of people in this niche to help with Laurel, Justine, like to help like work with them to help them put their stuff into more of a monetized space to be able to make some money from it. And it's been so fun. Like, this whole crew, this whole community is so tight knit and such a beautiful thing. Honestly, I've had such a fun time getting to know everybody. And so, yeah, that's kind of the gist of my story and what I do. Who we got here in the chat, Karen?
We have a few people, actually. Carrie and Cindy and Lubomira.
Oh, cool.
And Margaret. Yeah, so I know that some people do it just as a hobby, and they're just want to do it for fun and to just create, and they follow my channel because of that. But a few people have asked me before about how, can they turn their creativity into something that can make them money, they could work and be happy and feel happy with what they do, right? Yeah. Or even as a side hustle, or as just something that they do on the side as an extra income for their families or for themselves. So that's where I wanted to bring you in, because I really wanted to just kind of share what I've experienced and what I've gone through and how I've helped myself through you and through many of the strategists around. So that helped me, even the video creators, but also through Stop the Starving Artist and through different people. So yeah.
Yeah, the interesting thing about creatives in general is that I've found they want to, many of them want to have an audience. They want to do something that like gets people to pay attention. And then they also want to make some money, right? But there's a guilt factor. There's this thing that like sits on us as creative people and says like, well, you're not capable of making money from this until you've hit this threshold. Or, you know, like we put these false ceilings on above us that say like, well, until you cross this line, you don't deserve to like have this thing. And it's all such baloney, right? Because the only thing that's different between someone here that doesn't necessarily make money from their creativity yet versus like someone who does is a connection and a willingness to ask. So I've put together what I call like the creative, like, the connection blueprint. I call it the connection blueprint. And it starts with a vision. So the first thing we look at is a vision. What is, and when I do this, you know, everything I teach has to do with not only your creativity, but where is your life? Like you said, like you want to be happy. That's number one. It's not about money. Like money serves the mission, right? Money is meant to do something for us. And so when we think about it that way, it's like, oh, okay. Mother Teresa said it, like it takes a checkbook to change the world. You know, like it's real. If we want to make a difference in our life and serve our families, and for me, like make enough money to take my kids places and like be able to spend time with my family, like there's nothing wrong with that. That's all completely normal. And so when I start with this, it's the vision. Like, what would this money be for? What do you want from your life? What are you missing from your life? Many people start to do creativity stuff, like you guys that are getting into crafting or you're doing crafting tons, like you're making cards, you're doing whatever. You may start to feel stuck and like, well, okay, I can't work on this until I get this other stuff done, right? I need to go do these other things first, and then I'll get to come back to the things I love. I want to teach artists to flip that to where how do we lead with the stuff that brings us energy, brings us joy, so that the other stuff becomes more exciting. So that's what the vision is all about. Then we go into the connection part, but you might think the connection would be with the audience, and it does happen that way. But I think the connection for me is about, okay, now we understand what we want from our life. We understand a little bit better what our story is. Now let's connect our creativity to our life, which I think most people don't do, if I'm being honest. Like we think of our creativity or our potential creative business as it's got to live over here and my regular life has to live over here. And I say, no, like let's bring those things together. And so that's what the second part is, which then moves into building a reputation. So how do you get people to pay attention to you as a creative person? And that is by saying, hey, I do this. This is who I am. This is what I love. This is, you know, I love Breaking Bad on Netflix. Or my wife is like, I really love, what's the doctor show that everybody watches?
The Good Doctor? No, Amsterdam, New Amsterdam.
Yeah, that's one.
No, you meant Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy, thank you. Yeah, she's like, I love Grey's Anatomy. And then somebody in her community is like, yes, I love that show too. You know, like there are all these life things. So Seth Godin says it this way, that like people like us do things like this. So we bring those moments together so that somebody connects with you more. And then the last part of it is all about being a servant instead of a salesperson. So I believe that when you want to sell something, you don't show up to sell something, you show up to serve. And, you know, we hear a lot of people say like, oh, and I'm sure this is your audience, right? If you may have a Patreon, you may have whatever, like, yeah, Karen kind of like, I razz her for it. Cause I'm like, what are you doing when you're making $2 on a thing that you spent an hour on? You know, like it just doesn't add up. And a lot of artists are like, well,
Lennon, we've been made to feel that this is the point. We've been made to feel that we don't deserve to get paid. And this is a very common thing across a huge niche and platform, that we should only deserve to get paid that amount of money, whether it's an affiliate. So it is like a few dollars here, a few dollars there. Nobody ever says that you actually deserve to get, let's say, like, a big chunk to get paid like a normal job would be, like an accountant or a doctor. When not saying that much, okay, but you know what I mean. Like even somebody who works at McDonald's, we get paid almost less than that if you think about it.
Totally.
As artists, yeah.
And why is that? Like, who says that? That's my question. Who says
there
that?
isn't? It's just a stigma that society puts that artists. It's almost like a luxury part of it. Like, oh, you're an artist, you should be doing this for free, right? Like it's a stigma. Even though technically, I mean, it depends on which artist, because nobody looks at Taylor Swift and says, oh, she should be doing everything for free. But those that are like trying to become her are made to do that, are made to just basically do so many things for free. So maybe they'll make it one day. So in order for us to have that feeling that we might make it one day, we have to do things for free first, in order for us to be worthy of getting paid one day.
Yeah. And I think that's such a fascinating thing, right? That we as people draw these imaginary lines and we create a box and put ourselves in it. What's the thing about there's that story about fleas. So when you put fleas in a jar and you leave it wide open, they'll jump out of the jar, right? But when you put the lid on the jar and they jump up and they hit the top, you could then open up the lid and they would never be able to jump out again.
Pavlov's dogs.
Right. I mean, yeah, same kind of thing, where it's like we once we hit a certain level and we feel like that's it, we draw this, we put this ceiling over us that's just complete BS, and I'll avoid getting so wound up that I start cussing, but like it makes me want to, because I just get frustrated with like, why do we allow that to happen? So, what have you done then to sort of help battle that fear for you?
Well, the first thing I did is took your course, basically. Actually done a few of your courses, different ones. But what helped me is one of the things, like actually your acronym, the one that you always use. I always have it, and I actually always refer to it, and I love it. Yeah. The FEAR acronym, like I'll just put it in the chat so people, but it's really like false evidence, right? A false evidence appearing real. Like that's something that has really affected me, because I'm thinking like we're just showing this evidence that is not real. We're basically saying that we can't be what we want to be. We can't do something that makes us happy just because the world is saying that we can't. The world, obviously. So.
Right. Yeah.
So,
yeah. And what's interesting is that many times, because I get fed up with like knowing the music community and different arts communities, we live in these bubbles, these little communities that say like, well, no, this community's like this. This is what we do here. So why don't you just stay in line? Like, I don't want anybody like stepping outside the box, right? And then you go into the music community and they're like, no. All we do is live shows. We're still going to print CDs, even though nobody buys them anymore. And then you can get paid a fraction of a penny for a Spotify stream. And then, over here in the like visual arts community, they're like, well, you still need to be in a gallery. And it's like, what? Like, none of that makes any sense anymore. Like the doors have been blown open on this thing to where there are no gatekeepers anymore. The only thing that matters is how well you connect to your person. And I want all of you like that are maybe in this place to stop worrying about your community. Stop worrying about the other crafters. Stop worrying about the other artists. They don't matter. What matters is how you connect to the audience that wants to pay you for what you do. That is straight up it. Nobody else matters. Now they can be there to support you, or they can step back and say, I'm going to let you move through. And if not, you just keep on going. Like there's come a point where I had to feel this way even about some of my friends in my circles, because people were like, oh, you're on YouTube. Oh, that's cute. Like you're doing these things. Like, yeah, but you know, and now to have my own business and be doing my own thing and not having to live some like corporate deal it's a life changer. But most people are afraid, and that fear, that false evidence appears real, and they'll get in the way of what you're trying to do. Cindy loves CDs. Sorry, Cindy. I didn't mean to rip on CDs.
I think what it is that people think that there's only just the one road and one way to attain your happiness, or to attain that art, like, that to do what you love. And I feel that each one of us, even within everybody that has taken your course, each person actually gone in a different direction, because not everybody loves doing the same thing. Yeah. And that's one of the things that I think was a hard lesson for many of us, because Susan and Ingrid and Tiffany, we're all kind of went almost in separate ways, together helping each other, but in separate ways, because we all live there's Laurel. We all love something else. We all like do different things, right? And our audience is almost different in that way too.
Totally. Yeah. And that's the big thing again, that I think differentiates the way I try to teach versus others, is others say, this is the path. If you do A, B, and C, you will end up at D. And I say, no, you have your own path that you get to like figure out what it is. I'm going to give you the tools and the framework to start to discover what that is, and we'll move through it together.
Right. The problem for me was hard. That was a hard, not blow, but a hard thing to really accept. And I think many of us had that, because we're like, well, we just want to do what that other person is doing, the comparison game where that other person is doing that and it's working for them. Then, if it's working for them, why wouldn't it work for me? It has to work for me. And I continued trying in that direction, even though it's not really my own path. Right. So that was a hard thing, at least for me, but I know I've talked to many people about it as well. So.
Yeah, I love what Cindy said here. She says, my main concern would be too much pressure to meet the needs of followers. Where making can become a job and therefore tedious. So I totally get that, Cindy, and I wish that we could talk more about that. But knowing of all the creatives that I've talked to, and hearing this so often, and I've had many conversations with Karen about something similar, where it's that I'll illustrate it this way. There was a guy that actually is the pastor at our church. He talked about how when he was a kid, he had a situation where this guy was driving down the road, and he got like right up next to, it was in a blue van, and he drove right up next to the family car, and he like ends up in this whole situation where they both pull off to the side of the road, and my pastor's dad gets out of the car and ends up fighting this guy, and just they go to fisticuffs, and the guy ends up following them home, and they tell the kids, like they tell my pastor as a kid, like, hey, just so you know, there's a guy with a blue van that's like there. He's after our family. If you see one, you need to run inside and let us know. If you see a blue van, you need to run inside and let us know. Right. And he said that up till now, he's like in his 50s now. He's like, even now, if I see a blue van, that triggers something in my mind. So what I would say here is that when you say, like, Cindy, there's pressure to meet the needs of someone, somewhere down the line, there's a story that you're telling yourself. There's something that's happened where there was perceived pressure, again, false evidence appearing real, saying that you need to show up and be more than what you are. And I want to tell you, like, I don't even know how to say this to any of you. Like, you don't need to do anything that you don't want to do. You can build the thing that you want to build for the people that you want to build it for. And as long as you're open in that communication, the same way that you are with your friends and your family, it is no different. We don't need to feel all this pressure, right? I felt all this in launching my community, which I'm closing the doors on tomorrow. And the thing that released me from it was just saying, at the worst, if this all sucks, I'll shut it down and I'll give everybody their money back. I just had to come to that point. And we can all do that with anything that we have. So Cindy, you don't need to feel a pressure that nobody puts on you but yourself. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way in the least. Again, it's some sort of false evidence. There's a blue van somewhere in there that's telling you there's going to be a lot of pressure. There's going to be all this stuff, but you get to create the experience that you want.
Yeah, the pace. And I think it's actually it's a good pivotal moment to actually talk about your community, because I think that has helped so many of us in this community, but also other people that I've met. I met Susan also through this, which I didn't know before. Even Laurel became friends with her because of that. So it's nice to have that, but it also helps to have other people that feel the same way as you. And I think your community, it has been a great help.
Yeah. So the community is called The Collective, and I'm bringing in what I'm calling the founding members of this. And the way it works is we're going to walk through every week. You'll get a new lesson. And this month is, again, all about that vision. So for people that are I think I know what I want to do, but I'm not really sure. We want to go back to square one and just start with what's the thing that you really want from this? What do you want from your life? How does this meet in the middle? And so what that comes with is a weekly lesson. I also include within the lesson, social media, an immediate social media strategy. It's hey, here's 3 posts that I want you to do this week based on the things we just learned. Here's exactly what I want you to go talk about. And just getting you to start to connect more with your audience in that way, start to be more vulnerable in who you are, start to showcase who you are as a person, Laurel. Oh my gosh. I miss you, Laurel. So so you get the lesson every week. It's easy to go through. I want this to be for busy people, meaning I've made it super digestible. You can, even if you're doing a lesson and all the assignments in the lesson, your social media strategy and a meeting every week, you can do it all in 2 hours. And the intent here is that it completely replaces your current strategy. So it's not for you to add on. It's no, let's start together. And instead of spinning your wheels and being busy, instead of being productive, let's be productive on the stuff that's going to get you to connect and grow your audience and do that. And then every 3rd month, we do a money-making challenge. So you're going to come in and I'm going to give you here's a game plan. Here's some framework. Go try it. Let's see what you can do, right? Because many of us are we just never take the action. And so I want to be one of those people that gets rid of all the to-do lists and says, no, we're going to get this done. We're going to do it together. We'll have accountability and we'll move through it.
I think that's one of the things that for me is difficult. I felt I was always on a hamster wheel, just spinning, and they're going nowhere, right? And you feel that all the time, and it brings a lot of stress and anxiety for people. And many people have mentioned that as well. So I just felt that helped me concrete. I know a lot of people have accountability things, and that might not be, because I do push myself to work, but I find that I just tend to get myself busy with what's easy, not what's hard, what I should be doing. Yeah. So.
Yeah. And I'm going to put it in the chat here. If anybody has questions, please ask. I would love to, whether it's about strategies that you're trying to do, things that you're frustrated with, things that you want to do. I'd love to help anybody that's here. But yeah, it's fascinating. And Laurel said it, if you don't know, how did she put it? If you don't have any goals or ideas, don't worry, Lennon will give you some. and it is like, that's everybody pegs me for it. My favorite thing to do is ask questions. It's not about giving you just again, it's not about giving you an A, B, or C thing. It's asking you, like, what do you feel about this? What makes you think about that? Why do you do this? Because that's where we start to really discover it's already in us. Like, what if the only thing that we had to do to really follow our dream in this situation was just like follow the breadcrumbs? And if something feels a little like, oh, okay, that feels a little scary, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to go for it. And we go and we just go down that path and we keep picking them up and we keep collecting them. Like, I think that's really what it's all about. And that comes with asking questions. That comes with pushing through these fears, the acronym. That comes with having people beside you that are willing to, because we mostly we try to do it alone. And I think that's the biggest issue, like, is that we try to do it alone.
Yeah, that was one of the things for me, that not only that I was trying to do it alone, is that I've been reprimanded in the past for, just trying to, like, even like, not so much like copy, but kind of like try to get help from others. Like, I've tried many years ago, I tried actually asking people for help, and I would like literally get the door slammed in my face, not literally. And that's the one thing that I know many of us here, at least in this chat, we didn't want that for our community. We wanted to be part of it. We wanted to help each other. And when you find those people that are like you and that want to help each other, even if you're not in this similar niche, it helps a lot.
Yeah, it totally does. And that's what's so fun about this too, is that we have now a number of crafters, thanks to all you guys. We have, so my wife's in there. She's been hired by Netflix and been written up in like Board Panda, HuffPost. We have another gal, Lacey, who's an incredible figurative artist who has sold her paintings all over the world. I mean, there's just this really cool crew, and everybody's so down to earth and sweet. And it's like, and then there's musicians and like singers and there's something to be said, because again, when we get in this little tiny box of like, I'm only in this crafter space, then what do? You only see the people that are like, well, I'm only going to charge $5 for this thing, and I hope somebody buys it. But what happens if you start looking outside your box and you start to see other options? Like, things shift. I mean, and it's real. It's what happens, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Create and Play with Renee says that she's had some companies ask her like to sign up to work with them and do videos on different content. She's not responded.
Yeah. I mean, I get those emails all the time. It's not always are they real. Yeah.
I would just be, just look up the companies, see what you see, and then at the only time I ever say anything about that stuff is just like, ask them what their budget is, start the conversation that way. Like, what's your budget?
That's something I learned. Okay. So that's one of the things I really learned, because I was getting those companies contacting me all the time, and you don't know what's legit and what's not, and so I always answer now the same thing. I'm like, what's your budget? Oh, I don't work for free anymore, because I learned that I shouldn't be working for free anymore. And if they don't want to work with me, they just want to work for me to give me a pencil or a paintbrush. They wanted to give me paintbrushes. I said, well, I charge this amount for paintbrushes if you want me to do a video. And they're like, no, thank you. But then the next person said, I have these paints. And I said, this is my budget. And guess what? They said, okay, we're good. And I went ahead and I got a sponsorship, which for me was amazing. So you just never know.
Yeah. Well, and the main thing here is that don't ever do anything that doesn't align with you, right? So I'm seeing like Tiffany saying something about like sheets, and Susan got something about camping equipment,
glasses. I get glasses.
Yeah. And so if it doesn't align with the things that you put out there as a person, then I just wouldn't do it anyway, because your audience is going to be like, sorry, what? Like, I don't understand what you're doing. Like, we do paper crafting and now you're selling me a backyard tent. Like, this makes no sense, so just being cautious about that for sure.
And also, I think one of the things we tried to do this year is train the companies that, we hopefully over many, many, many times, and many more people that stop wanting to do it for free, or that stop agreeing to do things for free, that there will be some shift. As long as more and more people answer, let's say, forget about the ones that are not related to the company, that are not related to our niche. But let's say an artist company or a crafting company contacts you. There's nothing wrong with saying no, because you should know your own worth. And that's where the issue is. That most of us don't want to show our own worth because we've been made to feel that it's okay to just give us, a block of paper and a few stamps, and there you go. That's what you're worth. You're worth that amount.
Yeah. And so this is cool because Create and Play with Renee says, I was hoping to just work with paper crafting manufacturers, but I hope to one day have a following like you ladies. And so the thing I want to encourage here is that a lot about what I teach is that some of you are just like going so niche. Like, a niche is not a thing. A niche is a person. So the reason that's different is because when you say, I'm the kind of person that makes paper craft, like I do paper crafting, but I'm also a person who is a mother. I don't know, I'm going to make this up, right? I'm a person who's a mother of a newborn who has to like buy diapers all the time and do all this other stuff. I also really love taking family vacations with my kids and doing this other stuff. I love the idea of like blankety blank. Now we have this whole umbrella, and the paper crafting is like just one side of it. Now we've opened up this world of opportunity, but all that has to come back to like this deeper meaning. And that's a lot of what we work on inside the community too, which is like, well, what are you really trying to say? What's the belief that you're trying to get to, right? And so, but if you get that right, then you can branch out into all these different things, and your audience is never going to be like, well, all I ever want from you is paper crafting. You can have a lot more fun with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think it's also, like, I see what Renee is saying, for example, and she's just saying that she wants to do what we've been doing. But if you realize, Renee, it's taken me, I've been, let's say, for example, on YouTube for 8 years. And yeah, it looks like I have a huge following, but technically after 8 years, you would think I would be like all the way in the roof making, hundred thousands of dollars. And that's not the case. And it's because I've been made to feel that I cannot make money out of this because I should be doing most of the things for free. And when I learned to stop and do, and not only me, but when I learned to say no and accept that I only want to do what makes me happy and what I feel brings me some incomes to make that part of my family, like my family life happy, that's when things shifted for me. And this year has been huge because like I've almost doubled what I made last year, even though it doesn't seem like it because it's still not a big amount. But if you think about it, like I know that I'm projecting it already to be much, much bigger than what it was last year.
Yeah, what's been so fun to see for you, Karen, is like you've overcome a lot of blocks already, and it's really cool to see you like pushing through that resistance because it's real, right? Like I'm not one of those people that's like, well, buck up, buttercup, like let's see what you got, like just let's go, because that's not the way it works. We have to go deeper than that and see, what are the ways that we can look at this and see, where can we take the wind out of the sails on some of this stuff, and especially all these fears that we have around things and what's in our way. So, yeah,
that's something that's like also what you mentioned before about having to kind of, worry only about myself, but like I had to give up on some. Oh, thanks, Ingrid. That's just so cute. Some people from the community, in the sense, not giving up on them, but I had to kind of separate myself and move in a different direction. And that was difficult for me in a way, because I felt like if I wasn't following what they were doing, I felt guilt. And I also felt like sad because I didn't want them to not be my friends. And I realized that, friendship and business kind of cannot go together in the sense of even in this. And whatever they think of me, I have to realize that there's nothing I can do about that anymore. I just had to like move in a different direction. It's been hard. The resistance has been really hard. Even like every week, I'm like, oh no. And change is really difficult for me. So you do it easy, but it's still really difficult for me even now. But I still continue on because I know that it's the right path.
Yeah. You're doing great. You're doing awesome.
Yeah, you think so.
Well, I'm here to remind you that you're doing awesome.
Okay, that's good. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I'd love it. You know, if there's people here, and I just want to say, like, I believe in this community that we're putting together. I'm so proud to have people like you, Karen, in there, having people like Susan and Ingrid, and being able to work with Laurel and like, yeah, just. Oh, yeah. Oh, is Tiffany in here too?
Yeah, she is. Yeah.
Hi, Tiffany. Yeah. I mean, it's like, it's so cool to see all of you like pushing through this stuff and making stuff happen. And it's been amazing. And so if somebody wants to join this community, like, I just want you to know 2 things. Number 1, if you join, Karen gets a kickback. Like, I've given her an affiliate link. Yeah. So when you use the link in there, she gets 25% of all of it. So, and that's the way I want it to be, because I just think it's fair to do that for anybody that joins. You join, you bring people in, you get 25% too. Like, all you got to do is sign up for the affiliate. It's a big part of what I believe, because I'm so passionate about being a advocate for creators, you know, and giving them an opportunity to learn, even in a small circle, how to ask for something, how to get paid for things, you know. And then if you just don't like it, I'll give you your money back. Like, you got 30 days to try it out, and I'm not afraid to give the money back. And then it's cancel anytime after that. And it's only $37 a month for the whole thing. That includes live coaching calls. That includes weekly assignments that are really bite-sized, really simple. It includes 3 really cool bonuses that are like all around content creation, especially for things like Instagram, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean... Yeah, Cindy, it's a total pyramid scheme. And but like, if you join and you get 16 people below you, I'll give you an extra $100,000.
It's totally not. Stop. She's going to believe that. It's not. It's just like, I've been working with Lennon seriously since August of last year. So I wouldn't put things in my channel. I wouldn't bring him on if I didn't really believed in your mission and what you wanted, how you've helped so many of us here, and so many that, I mean, you guys don't know. And it being part of that community, I mean, will help you, whoever wants to build this. Not everybody wants to build an artistic, like, not everybody wants to be make income out of their art, and that's okay. That's allowed as well. But if you do want to, and I also, like, I wanted you to talk about, because I've started this business course that you did. Like, there's also if a community is, you know, some people, that is not for them, but if they want to do something else, then you also have like a creative business course, which I found is very thorough and very, very good. I'm halfway through it, doing it, and I am resisting it because I know how much I need this. But at the same time, I know that I have to put in the work for that. So if I have to suggest anything, if you're going to join the community, if you're going to join the course, if you're going to sign up for a course, just really, really do it because you really want to work on something. It's hard work. This is not easy. This is not something that, it looks easy from the outside, but like, you know, Tiffany, me, Laurel, like, we have like 40,000 subscribers on YouTube. Yeah, it looks easy, but that was hard work. That wasn't just sitting around doing nothing. So I really feel that only the commitment has to be that you are going to do hard work, but the hard work is going in a direction and not just spinning on in a hamster wheel. Because even like Susan had amazing success, right, from doing it. So
yeah, I mean,
Laura did too. Yeah.
I'll let them talk about it if they want to. But yeah, both. Her and Laurel did great, and then Justine's working on some stuff too. And Chrissy says, I want to, but I don't think I'm good enough. Maybe in a few years. Listen, Chrissy, like, nobody's telling you that but you. Good enough for who? Right? Doesn't need to be for everybody. This is the thing we all get caught up in. Like, I say this a lot. Like, why are we so afraid of starting small? Like, why are we afraid of serving a small audience? I don't have, you know how many like followers I have on Instagram? 600. Like, Karen, all these people are crushing me in terms of like a follower count, you know? So it's not about that for me. It's about how you show up and serve, you know? And I am like, my business has grown exponentially in this quarter because I've just shown up and done the work in a different way. It's, you can have a small audience that's incredibly devout and do the work, and it's going to be great. Like, yeah, Ingrid's like, Lennon's getting revved up.
Well, but it's exactly that. I was afraid of that. A small audience it gives the illusion that it's not success, that there's no success in it. And that's where we've been made to believe that in order for us to be successful or show that we're successful, that we have to have this huge audience, because that's what it's going to be. But sometimes a small audience that is loyal to you is more beneficial than having a large audience that basically nobody comments or nobody even like interacts with you.
Yeah. Susan says Lennon will work for burritos. Well, and $37 a month. So yes.
Yeah.
But honestly, like, I would love to have you guys try it out. And I've set it up this way where it's just there's zero risk, because I don't want anybody to feel pressured. That everybody here that's worked with me knows that's not my vibe. You know, just not what I'm into. Yeah.
No, I believe. And if you are interested, even to just look at the information, I put the links below. You can just read. There's so much information there, like if you press the link. So yeah, check out. It says, so do you check out work when then? And
do I check out work and see how you've progressed if you try it? I mean, it's not my job to say whether or not your work, like your creative work, is good. That is so subjective. That's not what I do. Right. I am of the belief that the artist is as important as the art.
No, I think she means like if she did you freeze? Oh, no, I think she means if she does like a business part of it. No, I don't know. Maybe I misunderstood what she means.
Yeah. Go ahead, Renee. Let me know what you mean. And I'll happily. Well, I will gladly answer your question. If you mean like the way that we do stuff inside the group is we have a private Slack community and the Facebook group, but the Slack group is just for people that are in the paid group. The Facebook group is like a mix of both free and people in there. Okay, yeah, the business part. So
yeah, he gives you a lot of feedback. Like you sometimes, not too much, but what I mean is like you get so much feedback in the sense of like those questions that you ask. I feel like that really helps to like push further, because like I come up with an idea and I say, oh, I'm going to do this. And then well, why are you doing that? And I'm like, and it completely stomps me. I'm like, well, just because I want to make money, but it is not the reason. It's making money is not the reason. That's where I think the part of it is that you have to understand that's why you want to make money. Why do you want your business? It's not making the business is not the why. It's why behind it, right? Yeah, I'm a good student.
Yeah, and so the way I do that, Renee, is like with the Slack group. You can get in there. I'm in there a couple times a week. Like I promise to be in there a couple times a week answering questions. So there's a literal channel for feedback. You can put that in there. We'll have group coaching calls. And those will be opportunities for people to raise hands and do that kind of stuff. So, obviously, like as the community grows, I can't get to everybody equally, but it's $37, right? So you're still getting a ton of information, and I'm still in there making sure that I'm talking to everybody. No doubt about it. Through Zoom, yeah.
It's a Zoom, like we're all talking through Zoom, and also you said you were going to have like maybe split into groups if somebody, we also help each other. It's not only Lennon. So like a lot of us have different experiences and different resources. So even helping each other on certain things, that helps as well. So just you can ask a question, and then we are able to work through whatever block or whatever resisting thing we're doing at the time. So
yeah, so we have like co-working hours, and that's where we do like breakout rooms where we'll get in together. If you're working on something, you can break out different sections. We'll talk about different things, or you can be in like a quiet space to just be with other people that are working, just to hold you accountable to something. And then we have a group coaching call. So those are more like feedback from me kind of thing. And then feedback from me happens inside Slack too. Yeah, it's great. I'm super pumped about it.
Yeah. Anything else? Any other questions that anybody has? I can't believe it's been 45 minutes. It's cool.
I love that.
I thought it was like 20 minutes or something.
I see Tiffany now, and I love that she's like, why do you think I stay quiet? Because Tiffany's like, I'm always wanting to pick on Tiffany, but she doesn't let me. But I don't pick on people unless they want me to. I'm not that bad. So, Slack is just, it's just a chat thing. I don't know how else to explain it, but when you log in and when you join my community, there's a link for it right away. And so you can just download it.
It's kind of like Messenger, but with a lot of like, it's like you basically get to chat. I get a bit lost, but
yeah.
But yeah,
I don't like Facebook because Facebook is a distraction, and I'm all about like, I don't want you to be distracted. I don't want you to feel like you get in there and get lost from like other content. It's like, let's get in and do what you need to do and then be done.
Yeah. There are very few of us. I think Susan and I are the only ones who like Facebook. We're Facebook. I guess it's I need, because I'm just so used to it. I think it's a change for me, but I am following, and I like the new people are really, really great. So there's some really interesting and very knowledgeable people in the community now.
Yes. Yeah, it's really fun. So I'm going to give you guys my number. So this is like directly, if you want to text me and you have questions, I'm putting it in the chat. Okay. But you have to use Karen's link if you want to sign up. So, but if you have questions, like, I'm here to answer these. How did we meet, Karen? So Cindy wants to know.
Oh, we met, Cindy. So in August of last year, I took a YouTube course. It's called by video creators. It's called Video Labs, and it's basically a very in-depth course on how to basically do YouTube properly. And Lennon was the strategist that basically taught me this. Ingrid now works for that company too. So Ingrid and Lennon are both strategists at Video Creators, and they have great videos if you want to learn about YouTube specifically, not specifically about artists or creativity or business, but specifically about how to do YouTube. There is lots of like really good videos there as well.
Yeah.
So,
Tim is a
Tim. Another Tim in our lives for all the Tim, because we have two Tims. We have Tim Holtz, who is a very big person in our community. So we have to, every time we say Tim, we have to differentiate who we mean in our community. Okay. So yeah. But it said there's another Tim. His name is Tim Schmoyer. And yes. So yeah, and check out Lennon's YouTube channel. Some of his like videos are so motivational, especially for people that really want to, just feel this way, that feel that their creativity cannot take them a certain way. But yeah, Lubomira says it feels like, well, this is why I've separated myself, Lubomira, because I'm only with people. I only go with the people in my community that are basically going in the same direction as me, and that has been a huge difference, because I was tired of the high school drama, and we got a lot. This is what happens when there's a small niche with a lot of women and in a community. But there is a lot of us, and we're happy for you to join or even chat with us. And there's a lot of us that there's no drama, and we all help each other, and that's super important. Thank you, Len. Oh, Ingrid, were you able to share that? Yeah.
This is.
Ingrid is the thing. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, this is really a cool. You guys have such a cool community. So
No, but not
yeah.
everybody is like that, Len. And you have to understand, a lot of us have like not suffered, but have been in situations where it hasn't been like this. It has, it's very, a lot of people feel rejected. So,
yeah. Yeah. I can see that. I can see how that would happen. Yeah. That sucks.
Yeah. So yeah, it's basically a part of figuring out what is the right thing for you, and not having, because I had like she's saying, somebody had a breakdown, but that was the problem that I had 2 years ago, that I couldn't go anymore. I was like, this is it. I was done. And I just really threw in the towel. Is that what it is? Yeah. And then I realized that there is other ways to do it. So you have to do what works for you.
Yeah, a lot of people will build something because somebody told them it was the right thing, and they didn't decide, like you said, if it was the right thing for them. And so burnout happens, breakdowns happen when you don't have a clear vision of what you want, right? And when you allow those boundaries to seep into your life and take over. Like, you can set very clear boundaries with yourself, your business, and your life that are incredibly healthy, so that it feels like there are no boundaries. But you guys, like the people that I work with too, I just tell them, like, I'm bad at email, get used to it. I don't email well, and so just don't expect me to do that. I don't get in the weekends because I want to be with my family. I don't do, I just set really clear expectations of what it's going to be like. And nobody thinks it ill of me. Like, everybody respects it. And I think we can all do that, but it's just a matter of first getting clear on just what you need, because all of us need something different,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree. And I think if you ask questions, that's my advice is to, like, ask questions, and like Susan said, get the toxic people out of your life, and then just stay with those that are your right kind of people.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's no more than that advice. I mean, that's for any age, not even related to this, but life in general.
Yeah, it exists no matter where you are, unfortunately.
Yeah. So any other questions anybody has? People are just talking about drama and toxicity.
Yeah, if there are any questions, happy to answer them.
So yeah, I think it's good. So anything else you would like to, and last message for everyone?
Yeah, I mean, Cindy says it's tough to set those boundaries, and it's not really that hard. I think we just, the thing we have to remind ourselves of, and this is why people either like me or they don't, is because I'm not afraid to just say, like, the way I believe, right? And this is because I've learned, not because it was this way, that I think the hardest thing that we have to do is not build a business. It's not show up and try to make a bunch of money. It's not show up and try to impress people. The hardest thing we have to do is be more and more of ourselves every day. Because when we decide that we are just going to be true to ourselves, there is no holding us back. Right. I know that. My coach tells me this all the time, that and this goes for all of us. Like, we don't have to do anything to be appreciated, to be loved, to be, to be safe. Like, we don't have to do anything. We are already great as we are. But the thing that all of us end up thinking is that we have to prove something. We have to go do something in order for it to work. When really it's all about seeking more inward, like, what do I need? And how can I serve somebody based on that need? How do I zone into what's natural, what feels fun, what feels exciting? Like, work has got this bad rap, and it's like, we don't have to feel this anxiety around work. We can love it. We can have fun. And, to some people that feels like snake oil, and that's okay, but you don't need me for any of that. You just need to learn how to figure that out for yourself, right? And believe that in some way.
And to be okay with it, because a lot of people feel that it's not okay to love your job.
Yeah. No, exactly right. Yeah. We feel like, a job is something that we should lament, that we should, like, be frustrated with, like, doesn't have to be that way.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. This is so fun, Karen. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you.
Thanks for letting me get a little mouthy and have a good time. So appreciate everybody here watching and hanging out. And if you guys want to come hang out with us a lot more, please do. Karen's got her link in there. And like I said, it gives a kickback to her.
And feel free to message me or I mean, any of us on the chat. And if we have something, if they can't reach you, we can always ask you if there's a question. So
yeah, I'd love that. Cool. Thanks so much, Karen.
Thank you so much. Oh, I can't like control this. No, I can't control the finger. Yeah. No, you see, I'm doing like this, but oh, there, I got it. Oh my gosh. It's like
I have to point the opposite way.
Yeah, you have to point the wrong way. That's terrible. Thank you so much. Oh, hey, somebody's like coming on and saying hello now. Okay. Hi, Tatiana, but we are done. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye, Lennon.
Bye. Thank you.